Good evening. UFC 275, Shed2Ed, episode 15. Steve had the perfect week last week. 7-0, Steve.
7-0. Never been done.
Is that the first perfect picks
That's the first perfect picks in Shed2Ed history.
in Shed2Ed history? I went
go with
5
that,
and
yeah.
2, so you're up $20 this week. Congrats again on the sweep.
Let's keep it going.
Let's go. Episode 15, UFC 275, coming out of Singapore this week. Up $20 last week, up 55 overall. Shed Gang going strong.
Yeah, we're rocking this season 2 halfway through, and we're going to be trying to maintain that lead.
This is Draft Battle with the $5 picks. Volkov got it done quick, that round 1 knockout finish last week.
Yeah, we seen Rosenstrike not be patient like I expected him to be. Kind of figured he'd just sit back and wait to pick his shots, but he went swinging and paid the price.
Yeah, we saw doesn't strike or frozen strike in the past, but they decided to go at it this week. They exchanged and someone got caught. First round picks this week. I was up first due to a hockey prop. Manel Cape first overall. Sungwoo Choi first for the Shed.
Yeah, I was going to go with Cape on my first one, but you snagged him on me there.
Cape's on back-to-back wins. He's got a couple losses. A lot of experience. He was fighting over for Ryzen, just like Yuri. I think he can get it done in this 138 price point. Why not go for him, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
Sungwoo Choi, I'll run you down his last 3 fights. Coming off a submission loss in round 2 to Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy. And then he had 2 wins, round 1 TKO over Juliana Rosa and a decision win over Yusuf Zalal. So he's fought a decent bit of talent, 3-3 overall in the UFC. Next up, I went with Batgarai Dana, Dana Batgirl, and you went with Jocelyn Edwards.
Let's go.
I dug deep for Dana Batgirl. Figured I'd grab the name recognition. I think he can get it done 3-2. Couple of sharps have been fading him a little bit. Want to go for the Kong side. Think his experience is going to shine through. I'm just riding with Dana Batgirl. Hope he gets it done. Bounce back from his last loss.
Jocelyn Edwards.
Coming up against Pascual.
Pretty inexperienced with both of these. I figured I'd kind of lean on the odds. I wasn't comfortable with Brandon Allen yet, but probably coming up soon. Yuri, fading Yuri anyway, so I just figured I'd go with Edwards on this one.
You took Andre Fialho, bit of a hype train, back-to-back KO wins, and I took Jack Della Maddalena, who I think is great value at 167.
Yeah, I think so too, and we'll return to that one later on in the gambling picks. But yeah, riding the train with Fialho, digging deep again for these guys. The 163s when the 134s are up on the board. We're getting a little bit of a spicy draft here.
We do have a definitely spicy draft. Some weirder picks. Take a look at those later. Steve Garcia and Brandon Allen. Next one's up. I took Brandon Allen just at 134. We were both kind of leaning away from him for whatever reason, but I figured we're getting this late in the draft. I might as well snatch him up. I'd be a fool not to, is how I felt.
Yeah, it's good value there for sure. Jacob Malk, only 7 professional fights, so he's kind of new. Don't really know what's going to show up for him. He got rocked on his UFC debut, 18 seconds, round 1, but then he's won his last 2 by decisions. We'll see if he can control the tempo, but Brandon Allen's probably going to win on this one. Steve Garcia on the other side, he's taking on Mahashate for his UFC debut after winning Contender Series Season 5. It looks like Mahashate took a couple of big shots in the first round and second round of his final against Achilles. Sorry, I'll fix that up here. Looks like Mahashate took a couple of big shots, and I thought he was going to go down when he was fighting Achilles there in the season finale, but he held his ground. But I think Steve Garcia would make him pay if he gets to rock him. He's going to take him down and ground and pound him.
Very intriguing matchup. Mahashate, born in 1999, only 22 years old, up-and-coming bout here in Singapore this week. It's Glover time, baby. Let's go. Glover Teixeira, 275 price point. It is what it is. They count him out time and time again. If you've been betting Glover since he showed up in the UFC, you'd be up good money right now.
Yeah, you'd be up big. And, you know, both of us were fading Yuri after this one. Glover taking the 275 in the draft. Honestly, he was coming up for me.
I felt the same way. And we're both fading Yuri. 2 wins in the UFC. His wins in Japan over guys in their late 30s, maybe one guy in his 50s, kind of counting down his experience as well. I felt more comfortable taking Glover, even at that 275 point, than I felt taking Procházka at any price point.
I think he's going to win that fight. So take him at 275, I think is really good value for Glover.
That's the Dev Spicy pick of the week. Throw a couple units down on Glover Teixeira. We'll ride with Glover this week. Na Liang. I was eyeing Na Liang. I was maybe going to pick this one up too later in the draft. I was leaning away from Silvana Gomez Juarez, and it looks like you were too.
Yeah, I was too. Smelly gave me a text, said he smells tells dirty dog of the week was Na Liang. So we're going to go with Dragon Lady on this one. So pick her up with the rare dog in the Ed draft.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk coming back, going to avenge that loss to Zhang Weili, I'm hoping. A lot of hype seeing Joanna come back in the octagon. She's got a very storied career, and she was enjoying some fun in the sun, but now she's stepping back in the octagon, maybe make another run at that title now that Rose is out of the way. Will the co-main event with Valentina Shevchenko and Taila Santos go long, or will it go short? And you said it's going to go short.
I said it's going to go short. Bullet Shevchenko is just another tier beyond everybody else. They're kind of digging deep and just feeding the champ at this point in time. 5 rounds. I don't think it's going to go 5 rounds. You know, Shevchenko can just grind it out and then ground and pound it if need be, but she's just got power. She's got a complete game. I think she can finish it, but at the flip side of it there, I think Taila Santos can get her own stoppage as well. It's plus 1,100 or something like that for her to get her own stoppage, but if she wins, it's going to be by stoppage too. I don't think she's going to win by decision. So I think there's good value on the stoppage here and maybe a little bit earlier.
That's right. Shevchenko can get it done any way she likes, really. We've seen it time and time again. Santos, I think her only path to victory is a stoppage as well. Recently, we saw Amanda Nunes lose her belt, and that was a stoppage upset. So if something happens for Santos, it should be in a similar vein.
Yeah, we'll see if they just come out swinging, see if Santos tries to force something or make something happen and slips on defense, and see if Shevchenko makes her pay.
That's it for the picks. You want to take a look at the fight card?
Yeah, let's have a look at the card.
We got 3 early prelims to kick off the night, coming in at 4:30 Mountain Time or 8 p.m. Shed time. Women's featherweight bout, Jocelyn Edwards, Ramona Pascual kicking off the card. We got that rare featherweight bout in the women's weight division to kick off the card. I'm looking forward to the Kong Dana fight.
Yeah, that one should be a good one. Looking forward to seeing how Dana rebounds after a loss. I think he's going to take it, no problem. But it doesn't look like Kong has ever lost 2 in a row, or at least not since early in his career. So this one's going to go either way.
Sounds good. Kicking off the prelim card, we got Andre Fialho. Let's ride that Andre hype train. And then Maheshate against Steve Garcia. Both of these Steve picks.
Yeah, and both of these fights look like they're going to be pretty good too. Fialho on the hype train here, but Steve Garcia and Maheshate, when I was watching Maheshate in his season finale there of the Contender Series, just comes out and starts swinging right away. Look for this one to start fast, but it could also end pretty fast too. So don't blink on this fight, man.
Looking forward to it. Second half of the prelims, we got Alan Malkoun and Choi Kulabao. Hopefully these are a couple of spicy fights to lead us into that pay-per-view. I can see why the odds are tilted on Brendan Allen to minus 310. Malkoun's only 2-1 in the UFC. Allen's fought some elite level talent. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one goes down between Allen and Malkoun. Kicking off the pay-per-view, Jack Della Maddalena and Ramzan Ameev, and then Manel Cape and Rogerio Bontorin. If Maddalena can get this win, he's really going to have a bit of momentum going, and I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes in this 170-pound division. You picked up Maddalena one time. I figured I'd get Maddalena this week. And, of course, my first pick overall this week, Manel Cape. Let's get it done, Manel, in that minus 220 slot. Featured bout, Zhang Weili, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko putting her title on the line against Taila Santos. And then Old Man Glover, the champion, his first title defense against Yuri Procházka.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for all 3 of these fights here. We got a rematch as the featured fight there, and we got 2 title shots. This is going to be good. JJ to rematch against Zhang Weili here. 2 of them have losses against Rose. 2 of them fighting very high-level competition. Yeah, so we'll see if the winner of this fight gets to take on the Cookie Monster, Carla Esparza, for the title shot. Maybe. We'll see.
Very interesting that Esparza has 2 wins over Rose. She's 2-0 against Rose. Weili and Joanna are both 0-2 against Rose.
Shevchenko, the very heavy favorite here. Minus 630 says on this. You might be able to get minus 700. Probably minus 800 by the time that you're listening to this, because the money is just going to be flooding to Shevchenko. Hall of Famer, absolutely the best women's fighter on the go right now. A tier above everybody else, but Santos looks promising. We'll see if she can pull out a big upset, take the title here. but it should be good high-level fights, very entertaining to watch.
It's a good point. Shevchenko's only in that 6-7, depending on what book you're with. Usually she closes around minus 1100, so the line hasn't completely blown out. So I think people are not completely counting out Tyler Santos.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly counting her out. I was trying to find a prop here or there to find maybe Santos by KO, but Santos is a dual threat by KO and sub. So you can get Santos maybe by sub at like 14 odds. You can get her by KO at 12 odds, something like that. But I wasn't comfortable with playing around with either of that, so I just left it out.
Love seeing Valentina get it done. It's a treat to watch her fight. I'm looking forward to seeing this one go down. Main event this week, Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Procházka. We're both kind of leaning away from Yuri, despite him being minus 200 on some books. I think the lack of UFC experience is going to play against him.
I think it's mostly where Glover upset Jan last time, that I think people are just trying to say that he's going to be the dog, and maybe people are riding a Yuri hype train. That's why we're seeing the big difference in the money line here. But taking the experience with Glover, I feel like that's a safer bet here.
I feel similarly. Yuri's young, fast, bit scary, and the way he took out his last two opponents, enough to definitely build yourself a case to be a hype train. I am leaning Glover this week, however. I hope Glover gets it done. Love to watch him win. Great to see him at this stage in his career, pulling off wins and grabbing the title.
It is a good way to cap off your career for sure. One other point about Yuri, very unorthodox type of striker, type of fighter. But Glover, with his experience, I'm sure it's probably nothing that he hasn't seen before. So
that's very true. I'm looking forward to seeing if Yuri deploys some unconventional technique, a bit of the slow step, fast step, kind of like a desert walk. Should be fun fight.
Yeah, and this one, minus 400, I think, to go before the distance. So look for a stoppage on this one.
Sounds good. Next up, your gambling picks.
Yeah, let's have a look at the gambling picks here.
Gambling picks this week features 4 parlay and 2 bets on Glover Teixeira. You're looking at Glover plus 175 and Glover by submission at plus 320.
Yeah, a lot of value here on Glover, as we previously discussed. Glover with the most subs in light heavyweight history. Yuri is such a striker, such a weird striker, such a powerful striker. So I think he's going to be trying to work the ground game, trying to get that sub. I think that's going to be Glover's main path to victory here.
We saw against the fight with Jan Blachowicz, Glover spent a good round with the ground and pound, and Blachowicz just locked up the guard. I don't think Yuri is going to be able to deploy a guard as effective as Blachowicz is. I think he's going to get past, and we could see Glover advance to a dominating top position in this fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else are you looking at? Dragon Lady at plus 130, and the co-main event to run short, so a stoppage for one of the ladies in that co-main event slot.
So it's a pick-em here if the fight goes the distance or doesn't go the distance for Shevchenko's title defense. But under 3.5 is plus 136, and I think there's a lot of value with that. You get about 50 points worth of value with that one. So if it's going to end, it would end probably within the first 3 rounds, I guess, or else it's going to run long. So I'll just take the value play with the stoppage here at under 3.5.
I like the picks this week. I think that we're starting to get it dialed in. You've got a couple of softer favorites, a few parlays to juice up the line, and a lot of plus money in your bet gambling picks this week.
Yeah, there wasn't very many pick'ems on the card here. So we see some 167s with Jack Della Maddalena, and I'm going to ride him this week. But I was leaning towards a few parlays, so we'll see if I get lucky on the parlays, and I'll go 2 for 2 as opposed to hitting 1 for 2 on all of them. So hopefully we get some luck with the parlays here for this one. But I'm parlaying our top 2 picks. I think Cape is going to be a good one. I like Wu Choi with this one as well. Leaning towards a Ed parlay this week with Jocelyn Edwards, and we got JJ.
JJ truly is the secretest of the Eds.
Yes, absolutely. I think there's good value at plus 270 with this parlay. But yeah, we got the Dragon Lady there.
Very spicy parlay.
I like Brendan Allen at 1.34, but not enough to lean 3 or 4 units on him. So I'll parlay him with Dana Batgirl here. I'll see if there's any good value on those plays there. I like Steve Garcia this time, but I don't like the odds. I like Fialho on the hype train, so I'll parlay them together there as well. So let's see if we get lucky with the parlays, go 2 for 2 on a few of them here, and see if we get any values on the straight plays on the Dragon Lady and Glover dogs.
We got 3 episodes left here in season 2. That means 3 more fight nights. Cater versus Emmett next week. And then we got Mateusz Gamrot and Arman Sarukian facing off June 25th. This is a big fight. The nerds on Twitter are going off about this. Follow us on Twitter at Shed2Ed. We got the pay-per-view July 2nd. Volkanovski 2-0 against Holloway. Going to try and make that 3-0 in that trilogy bout. And Adesanya is going to clear out the division. And in his way is Jared Cannonier. If he finishes Jared Cannonier, gets him out of there, I believe he will have 8 wins in the top 5 of the 185-pound division. Wow. Very exciting matchups.
Yeah, that July pay-per-view is looking absolutely fire. And I'm hyped up for that one.
Should be good. We got some juicy, nerdy cards in the next couple of weeks, though. I'm looking forward to the next 2 fight nights.
We'll see if we can find some value over the next couple of weeks there before we get to that big juice.
Yeah, the line's going to be blown out. It's going to be very inflated. International Fight Week. Going to be a lot of eyes on that card.
So, yeah, we have a big stacked card coming up for the UFC 275 in Singapore. Looking forward to this one.
Me too. It's nice to see pay-per-view hitting the road again. Folks in Singapore are no doubt excited to see the UFC come to their city. I'm looking forward to this fight. I'm very excited. It's not me having to deal with a 2 p.m. or a 12 p.m. time slot. The folks in Singapore can deal with that.
Yeah, they're watching on Sunday, is it?
They're watching Sunday morning. I think the first fight is around 6 or 7 a.m. in Singapore.
Starting at 8 o'clock over here. And besides that, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.